How can we use JavaScript? To use JavaScript instead of HTML, there are three possible ways. The first one would be using the script tag. Usually you use the script tag at the bottom of the body. So let's first of all create the script tag. You have an opening tag and a closing tag. Instead of those tags, you can write JavaScript code. What would be the easiest line of JavaScript code? That one would be, for example, console.log hello guys. You end every single statement in JavaScript by using a semicolon. What does this line right here say? This one says, go to the console and log the statement hello guys, for example. So whatever you have inside of those brackets will be executed and output inside of the console. What is the console? Usually when we talk about the console, we are talking about the browser console. So I can, for example, say that we are going to right click and open that page with a live server, for example, just to get our updates live. Now you can right click anywhere on the page and press inspect. If you press inspect, you have this HTML overview of your entire document, and you also have this console right here. And as you can see, inside of the console, we are getting hello guys right here. Why are we using the script tag at the bottom of our HTML file? The reason for this is that we want JavaScript code to be executed after our HTML code. Because first of all, you usually want to execute the entire HTML code. So if we have this header, for example, that says npc AO, we want this header to execute first, because maybe instead of our JavaScript code, we want to manipulate this h1 tag. If we would run the script right here first though, we would try to manipulate this h1, which does not even exist yet because the HTML code has not been executed yet. So it's important to use the script tag at the bottom after you executed all of your HTML code. Now the second option would be to use a script link, for example. So you can also say script, and let's say :module, for example. So right here we have a script of type module and a source attribute right here. So this is similar to CSS. Instead of the source, you need to define a path to an external JavaScript file. So we don't have this JavaScript file yet, so we can, for example, create one by saying index.js. You can use any name right here. You can also say ayo.js, but it's important that the ending is .js, which stands for JavaScript. So let's just use ayo.js to show you that this one works. We're going to link to our ayo.js file instead of the source attribute, which defines the path to our file. Right now, this is the path. Let's go to our website, and as you can see, we don't have anything inside of the console because we don't have any JavaScript code yet. So let's do the same thing again. Let's go to the console and use console.log npc has no biceps. Let's console.log that one, and as you can see, we are getting npc has no biceps. So this one works as well. Now the third option is to use the script tag instead of the head. Usually a lot of people will say that this is something that you should not do because obviously the head will be executed first. And as I said, you should pretty much never execute your JavaScript code before executing your HTML code because you might want to manipulate HTML elements instead of JavaScript. But if those HTML elements have not been rendered yet, you will get a problem and an error. So how does this work? You can define a script tag instead of the head, and I recommend you to use script::module because this defines this as a module. You don't need to know what this is right now, but remember this might be a little bit better. And now again we need to define a source. The source is again ayo.js. So this one looks exactly the same as the previous one, right? And like this it would be pretty bad. So there's one attribute that you definitely need to set if you want to use your script tag instead of the head, and that is the defer attribute. As you can see, this Boolean attribute is set to indicate to a browser that the script is meant to be executed after the document has been parsed. So this means wait for the HTML code to execute, and after the HTML code has been executed, execute the script. And by using this method, you can also embed the script inside of the head. And I usually prefer to keep my script in the head, but remember all of those methods work. So as you saw, you can use the console to output JavaScript code, but there's also a second way, which is the code runner, so the plugin that we've installed previously. So we can just go and click on run code. We'll open a terminal and the JavaScript code will be executed. I will use Code Runner from time to time because this makes it visually more appealing for you guys. But remember that you can just use this console right here in the browser.